In Al Horford's exhibition debut for the Warriors against the Lakers, albeit minus LeBron, Luka, and Reeves, the Godfather came off the bench to win 14 minutes, post a plus 13 plus minus, while putting up 4 rebounds, 3 blocks, and 3 assists. Meanwhile, the duo of Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler combined to be a plus 10, while contributing 23 points on 87% true shooting in just 15 minutes. The defense of the Warriors was intense, as Horford led the charge with 3 denials, but those rejection stats don't even tell the story of how good Horford was defensively. We'll get to that, but the Dubs went with their small starting lineup of Steph, Poise, Moody, Butler, and Green, classic Steve Kerr. Of course, Melton's out for 4 weeks managing his ACL injury, but Seth Curry wasn't playing for Golden State either, as Kerr said it's just because he came in late to camp and that nothing's wrong with him physically. The Dubs starters and Horford rested the final 24 minutes, and in the final 24, it was Moses Moody continuing his hot first half, as Moses scored a game-high 19, behind a flurry from Moses, to go along with the second half starting 5 featuring Moody, Brandon Pajemski, Buddy Hield, Jonathan Kuminga, and Quentin Post. The Warriors absolutely cooked in the early portion of the third quarter, taking a 23-point lead with 6:43 left in that period. Going back to Al Horford's exhibition debut for the Dubs, and the godfather of modern defensive IQ came off the bench and immediately showed why Golden State brought him in. From the moment he entered, the game's tempo shifted. The Warriors' defense suddenly looked more synchronized, rotations tightened, and weak side coverage became deliberate rather than reactive. Horford's voice could be heard directing traffic, calling out screens before they came, and ensuring younger players like Kuminga stayed connected on switches. He anchored the second unit like a chess master, controlling the middle of the board, never rushed, always in position, and anticipating the next move 2 steps ahead. His ability to close off driving lanes forced the Lakers into settling for perimeter looks, often late in the shot clock. That type of quiet influence doesn't show up on the stat sheet, but it was exactly what Golden State's defense needed, a veteran presence who turns potential breakdowns into textbook stops. Even with Curry and Butler lighting up the scoreboard on the other end, it was Horford's poise and command that truly set the tone for the night. Once Horford checked in, the Warriors' defense transformed from reactive to calculated. Suddenly, every rotation had a purpose, the kind that comes from experience, not sheer athleticism. He played like a conductor, dictating where help should come from, and when to collapse on drives. When the Lakers tried to generate movement from early flare screen or drive and kick sets, Horford calmly anticipated the action, sliding into place before the pass even arrived. His timing on closeouts made wings reconsider pull-up attempts, often forcing resets or contested jumpers. What really stood out was how effortless he operated within Golden State's system, switching with intent, covering for teammates without overextending, and using verticality instead of desperation when contesting rim looks. Even with the Warriors running undersized, Horford made them look heavier in spirit, disciplined, connected, and in complete control on defense. Those are the sequences that don't show up in the highlights, the moments when the opposing team dribbles the air out of the ball because every option is closed off. Horford forced those moments repeatedly. He would step up high enough to deter a drive, then recover instantly to the rim without leaving his feet early. His timing on help rotations forced the Laker bigs to hesitate mid-gather, throwing off the rhythm of their finishes. When the Lakers ran their front court second unit, Horford was the one neutralizing them before they could even touch the paint. Every rotation was a masterclass in anticipation. His 3 blocks were just punctuation marks on a performance built on discipline, not flash. He wasn't defending with desperation. He was defending with foresight. Meanwhile, on the offensive end, the Curry-Butler pairing was electric. The 2 veterans looked like they'd been sharing a court for years. Curry was his usual gravitational force, drawing multiple defenders on every pick and roll, while Butler thrived in those empty side isolations, bullying smaller wings and playmaking out of post-ups. Their 23 combined points on elite efficiency didn't come from shot hunting, it came from manipulating spacing. When Horford shared the floor with them, the flow of the offense stabilized. His passing from the top of the key, his understanding of when to slip screens, and his ability to make short roll reads opened clean looks for shooters like Moody, Pajemski, and Hield. It was a small sample, but the synergy between Horford and the Warriors' movement principles was seamless, like he'd been running Kerr's system for years. By halftime, Golden State starters had done their damage and Kerr rested his top rotation players, including Horford, for the remainder of the game. That's when Moses Moody took over, carrying the momentum from his confident first half as Moody erupted for a game-high 19 points, hitting tough jumpers, crashing the glass, and making winning plays on both ends. His development was one of the night's biggest storylines, not just because of his scoring, but because of how mature he looked within the team structure. The Warriors didn't need isolation ball or wild pace to build their lead, they just needed discipline. And that's exactly what Horford's minutes had instilled in the group. Even from the bench, you could see him clapping after each defensive stop, gesturing at rotations, and communicating with the younger players. He's not just a player in Golden State, he's a cultural fit, a stabilizer, a veteran presence who brings the IQ the Warriors once had in Andre Iguodala's voice. Then came the surge, a third-quarter explosion that put the game away. Behind the five-man lineup of Moody, Podziemski, Buddy Hield, Jonathan Kuminga, and Quinton Post, the Warriors blitzed the Lakers in the third period, opening up a 23-point lead with 6:43 to go in the third. The offense was fluid, but the defense was suffocating. They were flying around, switching everything, and rotating on command, a direct reflection of the habits Horford had reinforced in the first half. Horford had given them the blueprint, and now the young guys were executing it with energy. The Lakers couldn't find clean looks, and their spacing broke down possession after possession. What's striking is how seamlessly Horford fits into the Warriors' identity. He's not there to reinvent anything. He's there to enhance it. Golden State's defense thrives on trust and communication, and Horford is the embodiment of both. His IQ allows Draymond Green to conserve energy, knowing there's another veteran on the floor who reads the game 2 steps ahead. His presence lets the Warriors go small without fear of being punished. And on offense, his ability to make the extra pass or space to the corner opens up the half-court flow that allows Curry and Butler to create. He's not chasing numbers, he's orchestrating balance. That's why his plus 13 in limited minutes feels more like a tone setter than a stat line. It shows that when Horford's on the floor, the Warriors play smarter, tighter, and more connected. Curry and Butler reminded everyone that experience and efficiency still reign supreme. Moody's breakout performance gave the coaching staff real optimism about the team's depth. But Al Horford's debut was the quiet masterpiece that tied it all together. He was the defensive metronome, steady, calm, and always in rhythm. He didn't need double-digit points or a highlight reel to make an impact. He just needed 14 minutes to reset the tone of the entire game. That's what championship DNA looks like. Not in the box score, but in the subtleties of how a team moves, communicates, and trusts.